Krishna everyone. Let us start our today's class. Okay, so till yesterday we saw that like whatever we remember at the time of death, we attain that nature. So if one thinks of Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagwan, he is sure to attain the spiritual sky. But only the devotee who is fully focused on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, can reach the Vaikuntha Loka. So all the other spiritual planets, there are full chances that we can come back. But once one reaches to Vaikuntha planet or Goloka Vrindavan, he cannot come. He stays there forever. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that Yad Gatva Nanivartante Tad Dhama Paramam. So after reaching Vaikuntha planet, nobody comes back to the material world. That is Krishna's claim. So let's see further what one can do or what happens when one quits the body. The Bhagavad Gita 8.6 also explains the general principle that makes it possible to enter the spiritual kingdom simply by thinking the Supreme Personality at the time of death. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajantyante kalevaram tam tam eveti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. So whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his present body, in his next life he will attain to that state without fail. So if one remembers Krishna or if one remembers Brahman, Paramatma, he is sure to attain spiritual sky. But if he remembers his house or any material thing, then or an animal, his pet animal or his son or daughter, then he is bound in those karmas. So that's why if, for example, if one remembers the house, then there are full chances that that person will again take birth in the same house, because he is too much attached to his home that at the time of death also he don't want to leave his home. So there are full chances that he will attain a body of an animal, and somehow he will reside in that home, in the same home. Like he might attain the body of a dog or even a cockroach or any insect, and he will start living in the same home. So this is how stringent the material laws are. They are very strict laws. So, and whatever Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita is 100% true. So we have to believe this, and that's why how to remember Krishna at the time of death depends on our present life. If we follow rules and regulations and live a very spiritual devotee life in life, then we can think that we will attain the at least we will take the next birth as a human being, or if we are so fortunate our karmas are good, then we can go to the spiritual sky, which is not so easy, but there is a possibility. So that's why we should mold our whole life in such a way that it is this Krishna is centered. We should live a Krishna centered life, then only we can remember Krishna at the time of death, because death is very painful and very cruel. So there are full chances, or 99% or 100% chances, that we will forget remembering Krishna. So that's why in ISKCON we have such penance, like we have to chant every day 16 rounds. Then somehow or other we should do service in the temple. or such kind of things. If we like Prabhupada has stated us such several options by which we can engage ourselves somehow in Krishna Bhakti, and that's how we can remember always, and our life can be God centered. So the death is not just that time, but death is the picture of our whole life, how we have lived whole life. So it is not possible at the time of death suddenly one remembers Krishna. So that's why we need to mold our life in such a way. Now first we must understand that material nature is a display of one of the energies of the Supreme Lord. In Vishnu Purana, the total energies of Supreme Lord are delineated. Vishnu Sakti Paraprukta Kshetra Kshetragnakhya Tatha Para Avidya Karma Sangnanya Tritya Shaktir Ishyate. The Supreme Lord has diverse and innumerable energies which are beyond our conception. However, great learned sages or liberated souls have studied these energies and have analyzed them into three parts. So there are three energies of mainly three. There are innumerable energies of Krishna, but these are main three energies. All the energies are of Vishnu Sakti. That is to say, they are different potencies of Lord Vishnu. The first energy is Para. Para is transcendental. Like above this material world is called transcendental. So Para or spiritual energy. Living entities also belong to the superior energy, as has already been explained. Like living entities, there is Prakriti and there is Jiva. So Prakriti is inferior energy, or material nature is inferior energy, and the living entity or the soul or the Jiva is superior energy. Okay, so the other energies or material energies are in mode of ignorance, because it is steady and it is a non-doer. It just stays at one place. So this in ignorance. At the time of death, either we can remain in inferior energy of this material world, or we can transfer to the energy of the spiritual world. So it depends on ourselves. Like sometimes some people are sleeping and then they quit their body, so that's called they are in ignorance. That's why in Bhagavad Gita there are given certain kalas when one leaves the body. Although the devotees, when they leave the body, these kalas are not seen, but for the karmis or the normal people, it is very important in which kal or which time they are leaving the body. Like if somebody lives in the night time, then they are in ignorance. If somebody lives in the daytime, they get the human life. Then there are several other things stated in Bhagavad Gita, that if someone leaves the body after Uttarayan, when the sun is going, like when Uttarayan comes, then sun starts going towards like upward, Uttarayan. So in that 6 months, if somebody quits the body, then he attains the spiritual nature. And if somebody leaves his body in Dakshinayan, then he remains in the material world. So these are certain things described already in the Bhagavad Gita, and there is a whole chapter on this. So so each and every single aspect is well specified by Krishna. यम यम वापि स्मरण भावम त्यजन्ते अन्ते कलेवरम तम तम एवेति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भाव भाविता. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his present body, in his next life he will attain to that state without fail. So he has written so confidently, without fail. This should inspire us to live at least a pious life. So because whatever state we will think we will be at the time of quitting our body, we will be in the same state of body in the next life. Like Bharat Maharaja, he was from him our country Bharat formed. So Bharat Maharaja was a very pious king, and he left his at certain age he left his home. It is said that he left his family just like somebody flushes the toilet. So he didn't bother about the family and everything, and he went to the forest for doing penances. And he was already, and he was a so nice devotee that he he did a very hard penance, and he was he was doing really good, and he was going to get into the spiritual world after quitting his body. But suddenly he saw some deer who was crying in like and that deer, it was a she deer, and she was afraid of a tiger, and she was about to quit her body, and then she was pregnant, and she delivered already a baby. So, and she died. Then this king Maharaj Parikshit, who was doing penance, he left his penance and everything. He started taking care of that baby deer, and he got so much attached to that deer consequently, that when it was time for Bharat Maharaj to quit his body, he remembered that deer. So whole life he did penance, but at the end of his life he remembered the deer, and he took the next birth as deer. But that deer had a consciousness still of the Bharat Maharaj, so he was used to follow wherever the devotees went. So he was a devotee deer. So that is the law of karma. It is so stringent that that's why it happened. But in his next life, after deer, he became Jad Bharata. Some of you might be knowing the story of Jad Bharata. He was a devotee, but he just pretended to become a dumb to be a dumb person, and he because he didn't want to get attached to the material world. So that's why he just pretended to be a person who doesn't have any good intelligence. But he was a great devotee, and he also preached Maharaj Rahugana, and then after quitting his life, he went back to Vaikuntha Loka. So this story I told you because like however we do all the devotional service, but by chance if we have some attachment for something, then also we might take our next life in that body. So in short, material laws are very strict. It cannot be surpassed. So that's why we should be single focused on our spiritual life. In life, we are accustomed to thinking either of material or spiritual energy. Now, how can we transfer our thoughts from material energy to spiritual energy? So, how to do that? There are so many literatures which fill our thoughts with material energy, newspapers, magazines, novels. Our thinking, which is now absorbed in these literatures, must be transferred to Vedic literatures. Okay, this is the first step. We should try to read something good, like Vedic literatures. The great sages, therefore, have written so many Vedic literatures such as Puranas. The Puranas are not imaginative. They are historical records. The Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 20.122. There is a following verse. Maya mugdha jivera nahi swata Krishna jnana jivera kripaya kaila Krishna Veda Purana. The forgetful living entities or conditioned souls have forgotten their relationship with Supreme Lord, and they are engrossed in thinking of material activities. Just to transfer their thinking power to spiritual sky, Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa or Vyasadev has given a great number of Vedic literatures. First, he divided the Vedas into four. So Vyasadev, he is the creator of all the Vedas. So he is the incarnation of Lord Krishna himself or Vishnu. So that's why Vyasadev, because he's Swayam Bhagwan, so that's why he can write all the literatures very vividly. First, he divided the Vedas into four. Then he explained them into Puranas. In the Puranas, and for less capable people, he wrote Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, there is given the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita comes in Mahabharata, in the Yuddha Parva, where the battlefield in the Kurukshetra battlefield, when Arjuna gets confused or perplexed about his duties and about he becomes emotional about he becomes depressed, or he becomes very compassionate about his cousins, and he thinks to quit the war field. That time Krishna speaks this Bhagavad Gita to ask Arjuna to do his duty at in any case. So then all Vedic literature is summarized in Vedanta Sutra. Okay, so first what he did, Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas, he divided Vedas into four Vedas: Rigved, Samved, Yajurved and Arthaved. Okay, these are four Vedas, and then he explained them in Puranas. Okay, then he explained these four Vedas in Puranas, and for less capable people of this, especially for Kali Yuga, he wrote Mahabharata. Okay, and in Mahabharata he has given Bhagavad Gita. Then all the literature is summarized in Vedanta Sutra. So all these literatures, the essence of Vedic literature, is written in Vedanta Sutra. So they may ask you, that essence of Vedic literature is available where? So it is available in Vedanta Sutra. Okay, and for future guidance, he gave a natural commentation on Vedanta Sutra. So what is the natural commentation of Vedanta Sutra? It is Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so Vedanta Sutra is the summary of all the Vedic literature, and still the commentation of Vedanta Sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so Vedanta Sutra is first of all, the Puranas and Vedas are huge, or varieties of Puranas and Vedas. Now they are summarized into Vedanta Sutras. So that is the next step. And from the Vedanta Sutras commentary, they go in Bhagavatam. Okay, so still Bhagavatam contains 18,000 shlokas, verses. Okay, so you can imagine that how vast would be Vedanta Sutra, and vaster than that, bigger than that will be Puranas and Vedas. We must always engage our minds in reading these Vedic literatures, just as materialists engage their minds in reading newspapers, magazines and so many materialistic literatures. We must transfer our reading to these literatures which are given to us by Vyasadev. In that way, it will be possible for us to remember the Supreme Lord at the time of death. This is the only way suggested by Lord, and he guarantees the result. There is no doubt. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhya cha mayarpita mano buddhir mamevashyasya samshaya. So tasmat sarveshu, therefore Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time continue your prescribed duty of fighting. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. So always you should remember me. And mam anusmara yudhyacha. Yudhyacha means you do your prescribed duty. Like our material life is like a yuddh, right? Always in the war field. We are always doing some duty, and and uh, uh, we may fall into some difficulties. So it is like a yuddha. Okay, so we are fighting, duty of fighting, and with your activities dedicated to me, your mind and intelligence fixed in on me, you will attain me without doubt. Mayar pita manobuddhi. Okay, you give your man means mind, and buddhi, intelligence, to me. Mam evaishyasi asamshaya. So you one day you will attain me. Asamshaya means without any doubt. So at many places in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says asamshaya, asamshaya. So he speaks very confidently that without any doubt you will achieve me by doing your duty, um, like like prescribed duty, like you are fighting at the war field. So um, first of all we should do our prescribed duty, and then we should do our devotional service also. He does not advise Arjuna to simply remember him and give up his occupation. You see, this is the thing he is asking. That he is saying that you have to do your karma. One cannot be without any karma. The soul is always active. It is said that soul never gets its soul is never idle. When our body, like we die, our body becomes unmovable, but the soul is still very active. So soul goes out from the body and transmigrates into another body, or lives for some time in the with the forefathers or something like that. So that's the active that's the movement of the soul. But then soul is always active. That's main thing, that soul is never inactive. So if at all we are not doing any occupation or any duty, if we think that we'll sit at one place and we'll chant Krishna's name and that's how we'll achieve Krishna, that is not possible. So we have to do our duties. That is the first and foremost thing. If we are not doing our duties, then Krishna cannot give us liberation. So he says that you have to remember him and keep him and don't give up your occupation. Lord never suggests anything impractical. In this world, in order to maintain the body, one has to work. Okay. Human society is divided according to work into 4 divisions. So there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnam may ashrishta guna karma vibhagasha. So Chaturvarna means 4 varna, 4 divisions of social order. Guna karma vibhagasha means guna means as per our 3 modes of material nature, like goodness, passion and ignorance. And karma is work, prescribed work. Okay, as per prescribed work and modes of material nature, a person is divided into Brahman, Kshatriya or Vaishya or Shudra. Okay, he can be called as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. So the Brahman, they are mostly in mode of goodness. Then Kshatriya are in mode of passion and ignorance. Vaishya, mode of passion. Okay, Vaishya is in mode of passion and ignorance, and Shudra is in mode of ignorance. So this is how Krishna divides. Krishna has divided. So from where it is coming? It is coming from Krishna, because in Bhagavad Gita Krishna says this word that I have divided this human society into 4 work as per their mode of material nature and guna and karma and order of work. So as per that, Brahmana is always in mode of goodness, Kshatriya is in passion, and Vaishya is in passion and ignorance, and Shudra is in ignorance. So that's how uh, and karma means Brahmana does karma kanda, and or gives education. Then Kshatriya does administrative work or fighters or the soldiers. Vaishya means the business class people, and Shudra means the workers or the laborers, working class people. The Brahmana class or intelligent class is working in one way, the Kshatriya or administrative class working in another way, and mercantile class and laborers are all tending to their specific duties. In human society, whether one is laborer, merchant, administrator, or farmer, or even if one belongs to the higher class and is a literary man, a scientist, or a theologian, he has to work in order to maintain his existence. So because the soul is active, he has to work, otherwise the idle mind is devil's workshop. So if one doesn't work, then there is no chance that he will do only chanting and he can achieve God. We are not that exalted souls that will just do Krishna's service and chanting and we can achieve Krishna. So one has to work as per his guna and karma. The Lord therefore tells Arjuna that he need not give up his occupation, but while he is engaged in his occupation, he should remember Krishna, Ma Manusmara. If he doesn't practice remembering Krishna while he is struggling for existence, then it will not be possible for him to remember Krishna at the time of death. So when we are working and we think, okay, yeah, now I have to achieve good position in my job, or the student thinks that I have to work very hard because I have to get a good rank, then if one is not remembering Krishna and just stays in the material duties, then there is no possibility that he will remember Krishna at the time of death. The Lord Chaitanya also advises this. He says, Kirtaneya Sadahari. One should practice chanting the names of Lord always. The name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. The Lord Krishna instructs to Arjuna, remember me. And Lord Chaitanya injunction to always chant the names of Lord Krishna are the same instruction. So while doing our duty, we should remember Krishna or Lord Chaitanya all the time, so that we can remember Krishna at the time of death. By just chanting the name or by just doing devotional service, it's not possible to remember. But by doing our duty, that is the first condition, and along with that, chanting Krishna's name, that is the second part. So just not singly all devotion, not all karma. So Krishna wants us to combine both the things. How is this possible? The Acharyas give the following example. If a married woman is attached to another man, or if a man has an attachment for a woman other than his wife, then the attachment is to be considered very strong. One with such an attachment is always thinking of the loved one. The wife who is thinking of her lover is always thinking of meeting him, even while she is carrying out her household chores. In fact, she carries out her household work even more carefully, so her husband will not suspect her attachment. Similarly, we should always remember the supreme lover Sri Krishna, and at the same time perform our material duties very nicely. A strong sense of love is required here. So here an analogy of a wife and who has another lover other than her husband. So how she will work? She will not she will work in such a way that her husband doesn't know, and she will somehow give time to that person. So in the same way, and in this endeavor, she is so much focused about all his household duties that the husband doesn't doubt even. So that's how we should also carry our Krishna consciousness duty, that Krishna is my supreme lover and I have to give time and my whole heart to him, and along with that I have to carry out the household duties or my job or at work very nicely, so that everyone is pleased and I am doing very nice in the material world, so everyone appreciates, and also I can achieve Krishna's love. Okay. A strong sense of love is required here. If we have strong sense of love for Supreme Lord, then we can discharge our duty and at the same time remember him. But we have to develop that sense of love. Arjuna, for the instance, was always thinking of Krishna. He was constant companion of Krishna, and at the same time he was a warrior. Krishna did not advise him to give up fighting and go to the forest to meditate. When Lord Krishna delineates the yoga system to Arjuna, Arjuna says that the practice of this system is not possible for him. Arjuna uvacha yoyam yogas tvaya prokta samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami kancha chanchalatvat sthiram. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. But Lord says, yoginamapi sarvesham madgate antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam samyuktatamo mata. Of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So this is a very nice verse. So there are three things Krishna is asking. What? That of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in yoginam api sarvesham. So out of all the yogis, out of all the devotees, mad gaten antaratmana, so who thinks of me within himself, antaratmana, inside his heart he always thinks of me. Shraddhavan bhajate yomam, renders transcendental loving service to me, and samyukta tamamata, and most intimately united with me. So these are the three things: who always abides in me, thinks of me within his heart, and renders transcendental service in me. Okay, so these are the three things that one does, and that person is intimately united to Krishna in yoga. That is the highest of all. That is my opinion. Okay. So one who thinks of Supreme Lord always is greatest yogi, the supermost Jani, and the greatest devotee at the same time. The Lord further tells Arjuna that a Kshatriya, he cannot give up his fight, but if Arjuna fights remembering Krishna, then he will be able to remember Krishna at the time of death. But one must completely surrender in transcendental loving service of the Lord. So Kshatriya, because Arjuna has that quality of Kshatriya. Okay. So guna and karma. So his guna is mode of passion. So he is Kshatriya, and with karma he is at work, he is Kshatriya, administrative class, or the warrior. So he has to work. He cannot, like in the second chapter, Arjuna says that I want to leave the fight. I want to quit the fight. I don't want to fight. So because he's Kshatriya, he has to fight. Like what he will do if he is like, then Krishna asks us, then if you are not fighting, then what you will do? Because no other thing you can do as per your guna, your mode, your like material mode. uh, you have become kshatriya. So he cannot take the brahmana duty because he is not well versed in the educational stream or something. So whatever we are well versed with, whatever we are expert with, we have to perform that duty, but remembering Krishna. So we cannot say that no, I will just worship Krishna and I will not do my duty. So that's what Krishna is saying to Arjuna also, that as you are entitled to fight, you have to fight, but just try to remember me at the same time. We work not with our body actually, but with our mind and intelligence. So if the intelligence and the mind are always engaged in thought of Supreme Lord, then naturally the senses are also engaged in his service. Superficially, at least, the activities of the senses remain the same, but the consciousness is changed. The Bhagavad Gita teaches one how to absorb the mind and intelligence in the thought of the Lord. Such absorption will enable one to transfer himself to the kingdom of the Lord. If the mind is engaged in Krishna's service, then the senses are automatically engaged in his service. Okay, so it will become very long, but if I explain that. So how to engage your senses in Krishna's service? So in Bhagavad Gita, you can see a picture, like there is a chariot, and there is a driver who has rein in his hand, and there are five horses. So those 5 horses, I'll show it to you quickly. So those 5 horses are 5 senses, like nose, ears, eyes, mouth and skin. So this is the picture. I hope you can see. So this is that picture. So in here you can see that there is a chariot driver. Okay, so there is a chariot driver and a passenger also at the back, and these horses are the senses. This rein is his mind, this is intelligence, and this is the soul. Okay, so the soul, here it is said that when you don't control your senses, these are the horses. Okay, senses are horses. If you don't control your horses, your senses with your mind, then there are full chances that horses may get misguided and it might take the chariot to any place, right? So, and the chariot driver is intelligence. So mind or the rein should be guided by the intelligence. Okay, so his intelligence. Okay, if this chariot driver doesn't control his mind or reins, then his senses might go anywhere. So that's why we should always try to occupy our intelligence into Krishna consciousness. So that's why we can control our intelligence, and by controlling our intelligence, by giving it to Krishna only maintains our mind also. Like our mind also always remains in Krishna consciousness. And then if our mind or the reins of these horses remain in Krishna consciousness, then our senses are under control, and we utilize our senses in Krishna consciousness only. So that is the way of controlling. This chariot is the body, our body, and this soul is his helpless soul. Okay, it is said that the soul becomes helpless if your senses are not under control of your intelligence and mind. Then this soul is just sitting there and the horses are going everywhere, and he's in helpless condition. So this is the condition of us currently, that we are just watching that where our senses are going. Our mind is not fully occupied in Krishna consciousness, our intelligence is not working as per what Krishna is guiding, and that's why we are in helpless condition in this material world. If we occupy our whole intelligence in Krishna consciousness, then our intelligence can control the mind and mind can control the senses. So this is the analogy that is given in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. This is the art. This is also the secret of Bhagavad Gita. Total absorption in the thought of Sri Krishna. Okay. Modern man has struggled very hard to reach the moon, but he has not tried very hard to elevate himself spiritually. Okay. So, yeah, if one has 50 years of life ahead of him, he should engage that brief time in cultivating this practice of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so one should give his whole life for Krishna consciousness. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. So these are the 9 processes of bhakti. Starting from Shravanam. So our Krishna consciousness or our engagement into devotional service starts from our ears. So first of all, we hear from someone that somebody is reciting nice shloka or somebody is playing nice kirtan, and then our ears will go there, and that's how first instance we understand that bhakti seems good. Like we start enjoying or involving in the bhakti. So it starts from Shravanam, by hearing. Okay, then Kirtanam. So after hearing, we try to glorify God. So Kirtanam means glorifying Krishna. So how we'll glorify? By telling someone about Krishna consciousness or by doing kirtan, actually kirtan. Okay, and Vishnu Smaranam. Then after doing this, we can remember Krishna. So we will start remembering Krishna throughout the day, sometimes at the night at least. Then Pada Sevanam. Pada Sevanam means temple service. So temple is Krishna's lotus feet. So when we serve at the temple, it is called Pada Sevanam. So or serving Krishna at the home also. Anywhere, if you are giving your body or your mind intelligence for Krishna service, is called Pada Sevanam. Archanam means worship of Krishna, like Artika. Okay, so then we start worshipping Krishna. Vandanam. Vandanam means paying obeisances to Krishna or pranam to Krishna. Dasyam. Then there is a bhava. So after doing all these things, we gather some bhava for Krishna, for emotion for Krishna. That is in dasya form or a servant form of Krishna. Sakhya, higher than that, is in a friendship form. And Atma Nivedana means complete surrender unto Krishna. So this is the last stage of 9 processes of bhakti. So this is in series. Okay, so this is the last one. Atma Nivedana means complete surrender unto Krishna. These 9 processes, of which easiest is Shravanam, hearing the Bhagavad Gita from realized person, will turn one to the thought of Supreme Being. This will lead to remembering Supreme Lord and will enable one, upon leaving the body, to attain a spiritual body which is just fit for association of the Supreme Lord. So doing any one of these 9 processes, or like few of these 9 processes even, can liberate oneself. So some people are like they cannot do everything because they have other things to do or they have some limitations. Then one can just do Shravanam, just hear. Okay, like some people are mentally handicapped or physically handicapped, so they can what they can do is just do Shravanam. So then also one can attain Supreme Personality of Godhead. Or or following few of these 9 processes of bhakti. Then also the Lord further says, Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya paramam purusham divyam yati parthanuchintayam. He who meditates on me as Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Arjuna, is sure to reach me. So, single pointed, single focused remembering of Krishna. Like by that way, one can reach Krishna. This is not a very difficult process. However, one must learn it from an experienced person. Tad vignarartham. Sa gurum evabhigacchit. One must approach a person who is already in practice. So, tad vignarartham means to understand this vignan. This is called science of Supreme Personality, science of self-realization, right? So this is called science of self-realization. So how to understand this science? This is also a science, like understanding Krishna or understanding ourselves is also a science. So for that we should go to a guru and a self-realized guru who practices that. Eva bigacche. So you should go to the a guru who is already in the practice of devotional service. The mind is always flying to this and that, but one must practice concentrating the mind always on the form of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna or on the sound of his name. The mind is naturally restless, going hither thither, but it can rest in sound vibration of Krishna. One must thus meditate on Paramam Purusham, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the spiritual kingdom, the spiritual sky, and thus attain Him. The ways and the means for ultimate realization, ultimate attainment are stated in Bhagavad Gita, and the doors of this knowledge are open for everyone. No one is barred out. All classes of men can approach Lord Krishna by thinking Him, by hearing and thinking of Him are possible for everyone. So how to attain, how to continuously focus our mind in Krishna? There are several ways Prabhupada has given here. So beautiful introduction. It's just amazing. So how Prabhupada has, is persuading us to read Bhagavad Gita. So the Lord further says in Bhagavad Gita 92, 9.32 and 33. Mam hi partha vipashita ye pisyu papayonaya striyo vaishyas tatha shudras tepi yanti parangatim kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajarshyas tatha anityama sukham lokam imam prapya bhajasva. Thus Lord says that even a merchant, like Mam hi partha vipashitya ye pisyu papayonaya. So these are papayoni. So striyo, vaishyas, tatha sudra. So one is a fallen woman, okay, a merchant, vaishya, striyo, vaishyas, tatha shudras, or a laborer class, or even a human being in the lowest status of life, okay, can attain supreme. Okay. So like if we see the example of Prabhupada, the Westerners, they were so much fallen, they were hippies. It is said that hippies became happies in association of pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. So he elevated all these people to a godly level, to a demigod level. Like when a devotee, he follows everything, he is on the level of a like higher than even a demigod. So there is no caste bar, or like we saw in the beginning that there are several faiths, right? Like Christian and Hindu and everything. But our main business is to serve Krishna and everyone, the soul, that is the soul's quality. So So there is no caste bar. Just a moment. All right. So even a fallen woman or a laborer or a merchant or any human being can come to the status where he can attain supreme. One does not need highly developed intelligence. The point is that anyone who accepts the principle of Bhakti Yoga accepts Supreme Lord as summum bonum of life, as the highest target, the ultimate goal, can approach the Lord in supreme sky, spiritual sky. So anyone can attain Supreme Lord. It's not that only people who are engineers, doctors, or great philosophers they can achieve Krishna. Even a beggar can achieve Krishna, and even a very low caste person who is Shudra, they can achieve Krishna, or even a fallen woman can achieve Krishna. There are several stories on it, but we don't have time to like. Speak such stories right now, so I'm leaving those. But in short, everyone can achieve Krishna. There is no caste bar or no intelligence hurdle of intelligence or anything. Anyone can achieve Krishna. If one adopts the principle of enunciated in Bhagavad Gita, he can make his life perfect and make permanent solution to all problems of life. This is the sum and substance of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So I'll quickly tell you that one day, there is one story, I'll quickly tell you that one day in near Rangnath temple, a blind person, he was sitting with Bhagavad Gita, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reached there, and he saw that person who was blind, and still he was having tears in his eyes. He was crying, and he was holding his Bhagavad Gita. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying that he asked him that why are you crying holding Bhagavad Gita in your hands? So he said that because my spiritual master has asked me to read Bhagavad Gita. So he said, okay, fine, but how are you reading Bhagavad Gita? Like how you are equipped with reading of Bhagavad Gita? So he said, no, I can just and no, he was not blind. Yeah, he was sorry, he was illiterate. He could not read Bhagavad Gita. Okay, sorry for that. Yeah, so he was illiterate, and at the front page of Bhagavad Gita was Krishna as the chariot driver, and Arjuna was sitting at the back. So looking at that, he was crying profusely. Although he was not able to read Bhagavad Gita, but just looking at that picture, he started crying. So we can imagine that what level that devotee was. Although he was illiterate, he didn't study anything, and he couldn't read even a single word in Bhagavad Gita, but still, by just looking at the front cover page of Bhagavad Gita, which showed that Krishna is the chariot driver and Arjuna, his devotee, is the passenger. So by seeing that, he was crying. And when Lord Chaitanya asked him why he was crying, he said that although Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, still he has taken the position of just a menial chariot driver for his devotee. So he was he was feeling so humble that how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord of all three worlds, could drive a chariot for his devotee. So this is the position of Krishna, and he was crying profusely just looking at that. So at this stage, we also cannot imagine how that person would be feeling. But although he was illiterate, that means he could understand Supreme Personality of Godhead 100%, in like 100%. He could understand, and he was eligible for going back to Godhead, although he was illiterate. So this is the example of what of the paragraph we read, that a fallen woman or a merchant or labor or the illiterate person or the person who doesn't have any highly developed intelligence also can attain supreme. In conclusion, Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. Gita Shastram idam punyam ya pathed prayata puman. If one properly follows instruction of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all the miseries and anxieties of life. Bhaya Shokadi Varjita. One will be freed from all fears in this life. One's next life will be spiritual. Gita Mahatmya. So when we are under any misery or any sorrow, we must read Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita has solution for all the human problems and for the human life. That's why it is, I said last time that it is called the manual of life. If you want to live a a good human life, not even Krishna conscious life, forget about that, then also you should read Bhagavad Gita. So because Bhagavad Gita is not a Hindu literature, it's not a Muslim, it's not any caste specific literature. It is just a literature for all the humankind, for the betterment of humankind, irrespective of any caste, creed or nationality. There is also further advantage. Gita dhyayana shilasya pranayama parasya cha naiva shanti hi papani purva janma kritani cha. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by grace of Lord, the reactions of his past misdeed will not act upon him. So this is the power of Krishna. Because Krishna is transcendental, he is not bound by the material nature. He says in Bhagavad Gita in one verse that although I have made these all three gunas, but I am not bound by these three gunas. Aparayamitasmanya prakrutim vidime para jiva bhuta mahabhava yedam dharvate jala. So then Krishna is above them. So Aham Krishnasya Jagata Prabhava Pralayasthatha. So he is responsible for Prabhava and creation and Pralaya, but he is not bound by this material nature. So Krishna is aloof of all this goodness, like modes of nature or material world. So that's why he has this capacity to bring us out of these clutches of Maya. The Lord says very loudly in the last portion of Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tam sarva praptebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all the sinful reactions. Do not fear. So he is always very confident and he always says that I will, he is saying in this last verse that Sarva dharman parityajya means leave all the varieties of religion. So here it is not, religion doesn't mean Hindu or Muslim or any other religion. Sorry, I have to I have to plug on the my laptop. Just a moment. So yeah, so here religion doesn't mean that any caste, okay, it means abandon all your varieties of duty. Means if you are if you are doing any duties like we are material duties like I am a mother or somebody's father, or somebody is warrior, okay, somebody is protecting the nation, right, a warrior, then somebody is like engineer or doctor or something, and so our all the duties for our family, for our nation, okay, or for our caste, all the duties that we are following. So Krishna is saying that you should surrender unto me single focusedly, leaving all the duties apart. Like he is not saying that you should not perform your duty, like I shouldn't perform my motherly duty. He's not saying that, but you should give priority to me. Okay, so abandon all the varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. Okay, I shall deliver you from all the sinful reactions. So what a mother should do, she has to take care of his children. But like we saw in the previous paragraphs that one should be always thinking of Krishna as supreme lover, like a husband and wife, and the wife has a lover. So how she will perform her duty? She will make sure that all the duties are fulfilled, so that her husband doesn't come to know that she is a lover. So in the same way, we should perform our duties so keenly, so nicely, that our children, our husband, everyone is satisfied, our boss, everyone is satisfied. But in a priority, we are serving Krishna. So that should be our mood. And after doing that, what we will achieve? Krishna can deliver us from all the sinful reactions. So this is our achievement. Okay, so this is how we achieve Krishna. Okay, achieving Krishna is the best achievement. Okay, and Krishna says, do not fear. Thus the Lord takes all responsibilities for one who surrenders unto him. He indemnifies such a person against all the reactions of sin. So he protects a person from every single danger, but we have to surrender completely. Mala nirmochanam pumsam jalasnanam dine dine sukrad gita amrata snanam samsara malanashanam. One may cleanse himself daily by taking bath in water, but if one takes a bath even once in sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. Gita Mahatmya 3. Gita su Gita kartavya kim anyay shastra vistaraye yasvayam padmanabhasya mukha padma vinishrita. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively, regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita, as we saw, that there were Puranas and Vedas, right? Vyasadeva created Puranas and Vedas. Okay, from Vedas and Puranas, the abstract was what? Vedanta Sutra, right? So Vedanta Sutra, and then from Vedanta Sutra, again the abstract was, essence was Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And on the top of it, like he wrote for less intelligent people like us in Kali Yuga, he wrote Mahabharata, and a part of Mahabharata is Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita summarizes all the Vedic literatures. It is the sar or the essence of all the Vedic literatures. So just one book, it can fulfill our all the needs. Okay, we don't need to read all the Vedic literatures, because see, here it is written, in the present age people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all Vedic literatures. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice, because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures, especially because it is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we have seen that asamshaya, Krishna is saying everywhere, do not fear, without any doubt. He's speaking so confidently, and he is the supreme ruler of these material three worlds, like not only material world, all the three worlds. So that's why we should read just one Vedic literature, and it should suffice all the purpose. As it is said, Bharatamrita Sarvaswam Vishnu Bhaktrad Vinisratam Gita Gangodakam Pitva Punarjanma Navidyate. One who drinks the water of Ganges attains salvation. So, what to speak of one who drinks nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu. So, Krishna is original Vishnu, and he has spoken Bhagavad Gita by himself, by his from his lotus mouth. So that's why we should always hear Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita comes from mouth of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Ganges is said to be emanated from the lotus feet of the Lord. There is a pastime of Lord Vamandeva. When he stepped the foot in the sky, then the Ganges water came down. So Vamandeva is Lord Vishnu's one of the incarnation. So that's why it is said that lotus feet of Lord is this Ganges have emanated from lotus feet of the Lord. And of course there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of the Supreme Lord, but from the impartial study we can appreciate that Bhagavad Gita is even more important than the water of Ganges. So water of Ganges, because it is coming from Supreme Lord's lotus feet, that's why Ganges water is very sacred. And in the same way, Bhagavad Gita, why it is sacred? Because it is coming out from the lotus mouth of Krishna. So that's why Bhagavad Gita is also just like the Ganges, it is very sacred. Sarvopani Sadogavo Dugdha Gopalanandina Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhakta Dugdham Gitamratam Mahat. This Gita-Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Upanishads is just like a cow. This is very important. Okay, this they always ask. It's just like a cow. So Gita is given the analogy like a cow. Is treated like a cow. And Lord Krishna, who is a famous cowherd boy, is milking the cow. Okay, so you can imagine Gita is a cow. Okay, Lord Krishna is the milkman who is milking the cow. Okay, and Arjuna is the calf, is like a calf, or a learned scholar and a pure devotee are to drink the nectarian milk. So Krishna is the milkman who is milking the cow, Arjuna is the calf. Okay, this you have to always remember. So Bhagavad Gita is the cow. Okay, Krishna is the milkman because Krishna is speaking the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, the book Bhagavad Gita is a cow. The Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita. So he is giving us, right, Bhagavad Gita. So from cow, Krishna is giving milk to us. So he is a milkman. Okay, and who is drinking that? We all, like pure devotees, or even the normal people. Okay, the learned scholars, or Arjuna. We are all cow. Okay, Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholar pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk. So Arjuna is the calf. Okay, and Arjuna is calf, so he is drinking the milk from cow directly. But like whatever Lord Krishna gives, he is a milkman, so he is giving it to us. So we are drinking the milk. We are the drinkers. Like we are milk. We drink the milk. So learned scholars, pure devotees, or the normal people who are reading, they are drinking this nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. Eka shastram devaki putra gitam, eko devo devaki putra eva, eko mantras tasya namani yani karma pi ekam tasya devasya seva. So we are finishing soon. Sorry for a long session. In this present day, people are very much eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. Therefore, ekam shastram devaki putra gitam. Let there be one scripture only. one common scripture for whole world, Bhagavad Gita. So it is because irrespective of caste, creed, nationality, it is for all the human uh, race. Okay, so that's why Bhagavad Gita is very important. Eko devo dev ki putra eva. Let there be only one God for the whole world, Sri Krishna. Eko mantras tasya namadi, and one hymn, one mantra, one prayer of chanting his name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Karumapi ekam tasya devasya seva. Let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so this is very beautiful shloka. The disciplic succession. So we should always hear whenever we are following some religion or some faith, we should always see from where it is coming, or whenever we are reading some book, we should always see especially the spiritual books, we should always see from which author it is coming. Okay, or from which the author is from which disciplic succession. There should be some disciplic succession from an authentic source it should be coming. Okay, so what is authentic source? Like in Garga Samhita, Garga Muni has given 4 main branches of Sampradaya. Okay, one is Rudra Sampradaya, one is Sri Sampradaya, one is Brahma Sampradaya, and one is Kumara Sampradaya. Okay, so what is Rudra Sampradaya? Let us start from our Sampradaya. Our Sampradaya is Brahma Sampradaya. Okay, so you don't need to remember these things, but I am just giving you this for information. Okay, so that whenever you are reading some book, you should investigate from where it is coming, because there are several versions of Bhagavad Gita, translation and purports are given, but they are not from any good source. Okay, they are just written by people, me or you, okay, who are writing their own perception, their own thoughts. Okay, it is not coming from any authentic source. Such kind of Bhagavad Gitas are also available in the world, so we should refrain from reading such kind of literatures. Okay, so these are the 4 very authentic sampradayas suggested by Garga Muni, who gave name to Lord Krishna. So Garga Muni is a very elevated person. Okay, so Garga Muni has given these 4 sampradaya: Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, and Kumara Sampradaya. So these are 4 authentic sampradaya. So whatever we are reading should come from this sampradaya. So Brahma Sampradaya, in Kali Yuga, Madhavacharya. Okay, Madhavacharya is our guru. So Madhavacharya, so that's why, and from Madhavacharya it came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay, so that's why we are called, ISKCON is called Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. So it is coming from Brahma. Okay, so, and Brahma is taking knowledge from Lord Krishna. Okay, so second is, this is Brahma Sampradaya. Okay, ours is Brahma Sampradaya is called. Then second is Rudra Sampradaya. So Rudra Sampradaya has his guru in Kali Yuga, whose name is Vishnu Swami. Okay, so Vishnu Swami has taken this knowledge from Rudra Sampradaya. Rudra Sampradaya means Shiva, Lord Shiva. Okay, so Lord Shiva has taken knowledge from Krishna, obviously. So Krishna, Shiva, then Vishnu Swami, and that's how it is coming down. Okay, so this is also an authentic religion, Sampradaya. Okay, then other is Brahma, Rudra, and Sri Sampradaya. Sri Sampradaya is coming from in Kali Yuga, Ramanujacharya. Okay, he is his disciple. Okay, so Sri Sampradaya states like Sri means Lakshmi Devi. So from Lakshmi Devi down, like coming towards Kali Yuga, then this Ramanujacharya came. So Ramanujacharya gave this knowledge to the other people. So that's how Sri Sampradaya is authentic. Then Kumara Sampradaya. Kumara Sampradaya, as the name states, it is coming from 4 Kumaras. 4 Kumaras are who? They are the sons of Lord Brahma. Okay, so from Lord Brahma, so again Lord Brahma has taken his the knowledge from Lord Vishnu, right? Because he's born from the navel of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Brahma takes the knowledge from Vishnu, okay, and then from Brahma these four Kumaras are originated. So from four Kumaras in the Kali Yuga there is Nimbakacharya. Okay, so Nimbakacharya took this knowledge from these four Kumaras. So and he gave this knowledge to the further generations. So these four sects of this of religion, they are authentic. Okay, see, these four sampradaya, everything you read or preach should be from these four sampradayas. So in our Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya, this is the disciplic succession. So Krishna, from Krishna, Brahma took, like I said before. So from Lord Vishnu's navel, Brahma was born. Now if you see Lord Vishnu, so he's a Garbhodakshiya Vishnu. Okay, from Garbhodakshiya Vishnu, Lord Brahma comes. So there is Krishna in Goloka. Okay, I'll just quickly give today's class bit longer, but sorry about that, I have to tell you this. So Krishna is in Goloka Vrindavan. Okay, so from Krishna comes the first expansion of Krishna is Balram. Okay, first of all Balram comes. Okay, so from that there is comes first Chaturviha. First Chaturviha includes Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Narayana and Aniruddha. Okay, so these four. Okay, so then again from this Sankarshana there is second Chaturvyuha. So same again Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Narayana and Sankarshana. Okay, so then again from this Chaturvyuha, second Chaturvyuha, we have got Mahavishnu. Okay, so Mahavishnu, from his pores of his body, like millions of universes continuously emanating. Okay, they are getting created. Okay, so this is Mahavishnu. Okay, so we can see from Krishna Vishnu comes. Some people say from Vishnu Krishna comes. Krishna is the avatar of Vishnu. No, it's not like that. Okay, so Krishna is not avatar, he is avatari. When he comes in this material world, he comes himself. He is not Vishnu's avatar. It is other way around. Krishna first comes, then everything comes, and then Mahavishnu. So Mahavishnu, from Mahavishnu's body pores, these millions of universes are generated. Now in each of the universe, again this Mahavishnu goes inside the this universe in the form of Garbhodakshiya Vishnu. Okay, so Garbhodakshiya Vishnu enters into each of the universe. Okay, so from Mahavishnu comes Garbhodakshiya Vishnu, who enters into each of the universe. Why he enters into each of the universe? From him this Brahma comes. Okay, from Garbhodakshiya Vishnu's navel, उसमें से एम्बेलिकल कोड जैसा निकलता है, एंड उसमें से एक like lotus flower. Okay, so it is like, that's why Brahma is called Padmaja. So he's born from this lotus. So there is a lotus stem which is going to the Lord Vishnu's navel, and on the lotus this Brahma is there. Okay, so Brahma is born, and he empowers this Brahma to create. Okay, so when Brahma creates the living entities or the material world, then in each of the living entities and each of the atom there is a Kshirodakshiya Vishnu. So in our body also the Paramatma is called Kshirodakshiya Vishnu. Okay, so that's how the Krishna's whole world works. Okay, so that's why, and that's the reason we grow. Okay, each and every living entity also grows. If you see each and every flower that grows, because there is a super soul in the form of Kshirodakshiya Vishnu. Okay, so Kshirodakshiya Vishnu has the potency to make the things grow. That's why everything in this material world grow. So without any soul or the super soul, we cannot grow. We are dead. Krishna. So first is Krishna. From Krishna, Brahma took knowledge. So this is the disciplic succession, means how the knowledge comes down to us. This is explained here. So from Krishna, Brahma took the knowledge. From Brahma, Narada took the knowledge. Okay, Brahma son is Narada. Okay, now Narada Muni is Vyasadeva's spiritual master. Okay, so Vyasadeva himself is incarnation of Krishna. So but Narada Muni gave him instructions to write Bhagavatam and also all the Vedas, and so he is a spiritual master of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is spiritual master of Madhava. So from Madhava comes from Madhava, Padmanabha took knowledge. Then Narahari took knowledge from Padmanabha. Then Madhava, Shobhya, Jayatirtha, Nana Sindhu, Dayanidhi, Vidyanidhi. So these are the disciples, okay? Disciples of the disciples of the disciples, okay? शिष्य के शिष्य है ये सभी. Then इसके सभी शिष्य है राजेंद्र, जयधर्म, पुरुषोत्तम, ब्राह्मण्य तीर्थ, व्यास तीर्थ, लक्ष्मीपति, माधवेंद्रपुरी, ईश्वरपुरी, नित्यानंदा, अद्वैता. So Madhavendra disciples are Ishwarapuri, Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya. These are all Madhavendra Puri's disciples. Then Ishwarapuri's disciple is Lord Chaitanya. Okay, and Lord Chaitanya's disciples are 6 Goswamis: Rupa Sanatana, Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta, Dasa Raghunath. These 6 Goswamis are all disciples of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and also Swarupa Damodara Prabhu. So he is also disciple of Lord Chaitanya. Then from Rupa came Raghunath Das Goswami or Jiva Goswami. They are also disciples of Rupa Goswami. Then Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, Narottama Das Thakur. Then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Narottama Das Thakur's disciples Vishwanath Chakravarti, Baldeva Vidyabhushan, and Jagannath Das Babaji. From Jagannath Das Babaji, his disciple is Bhakti Vinod Swami. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj के disciple है. Then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So he is the disciple of Bhakti Vinod Swami. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the disciple of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. And A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, of whose Bhagavad Gita and purport we are reading right now. So he is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, International Society of Krishna Consciousness. He is the founder Acharya. In the temple we see the deity of Srila Prabhupada. So he has gained the knowledge from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He has knowledge from his. So if we go back, it goes back to Krishna. Okay. So that's how this is Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. Brahma, so it is coming from Brahma, and then in the Kali Yuga it is Madhava. Okay. So this Madhava. Okay. So from Madhavacharya we are getting all this knowledge. So that is why our and why Gaudiya Sampradaya? Because Lord Chaitanya, he lived in the Gaudiya Desh, this Gauda. Okay, so that's why we are called Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay, ISKCON is Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. It is a very authentic and authorized religion Sampradaya. Okay, so that's why we should follow, we should read this Bhagavad Gita. This is very authentic Bhagavad Gita, which is coming straight from Krishna. Okay, so this finishes our Bhagavad Gita reading, and next week we'll start reading Krishna book. So if anyone has any questions, they can ask. I can see one comment in the chat box. Apologies to have leave now. Okay, Charu. Okay. Any questions, anyone? Okay, so we are meeting on Tuesday at 7:30, and tomorrow we have a very special guest lecture. Please try to attend, and that will be by His Grace Sanjay Jain Prabhu, and he is currently working with Dell, and he has studied in Bits Pilani, and he is practicing Krishna consciousness since 1998 or 1995, if I am not wrong. Okay, so he's very senior Vaishnava, and I would strongly recommend that you all should listen to him tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.